most pupils actually expect to go to secondary school. They've got quite high expectations. And when you think about what happens in terms of parents' evenings and when pupils go into schools and they go into the science labs, which are really quite exciting, especially if they're new and have all of the equipment out, and how often do they get a chance to use it? They certainly don't get a chance very often in year 7, and sometimes they don't even see it until they never see it. And so you've got expectations. So are we actually raising expectations too high and then letting them down? And I was struck by a piece which Ian Abrahams did as part of his practical activity study, and I think there's an article in SSR that he did this, where he asked pupils in year 6 what they expected when they got into year 7 in secondary school, and he asked in terms of science and history. Science, the expectations were you get to use all of this equipment and flashbangs and all of that sort of thing. And then of course when they got there, what did they end up doing? A lot of writing. So they felt let down. The kids doing history, what did they expect? Oh, we expect to do lots of writing and stuff. And when they got to secondary school, they did lots of writing, but they did some other things as well. So they were actually quite enthused. So the expectation setting sometimes we get wrong, I think. But more fundamental than that, and that's the sort of tagline on the talk tonight, is I wonder whether we've actually got a different culture in terms of what we mean, not just by teaching and learning, but also about science itself. In primary, if we look at that, things that we've talked about practical, about questions, about exploration, about it being messy, we're all quite comfortable with. But in secondary school, you don't tend to get that. What you get is that this is the answer, this is the way to do it. So in a very simplistic way, you actually have a movement coming up, which I would characterize as developmental, genuinely investigative, etc., comes to the age of 11, whereas in secondary school, we have got a curriculum and a syllabus of things that need to be poured in, and it's quite dogmatic, and it comes down, so actually at transition, we get this crunch.